In this presentation, I will analyze how major educational theories guide classroom management decisions in a K through 12 setting. Specifically, I will synthesize behavioral theory, social cultural theory, and ecological systems theory, and demonstrate how these frameworks inform evidence-based, culturally responsive classroom practices. This presentation reflects my understanding of how theory translates into proactive instructional design rather than reactive discipline. The student learning outcome for this module requires that I identify and describe major educational theories that guide culturally responsive and evidence-based classroom management decisions and apply them to classroom content. This presentation demonstrates not only my understanding of these theories, but also my ability to synthesize research and apply it to practical K-12 classroom management decisions. Why educational theory matters. Classroom management is not simply about behavior control. Hulick and Briesch 2017 emphasized that effective classroom management is rooted in behavioral science and instructional design. Research from Lane demonstrates that low-intensity strategies prevent escalation and increase academic engagement. Rather than responding to behavior after it occurs, teachers proactively design environments aligned with how students learn. Additionally, Ladson-Billings 2014 reminds us that management systems must be culturally relevant. Without cultural responsiveness, behavior systems can unintentionally marginalize students. Therefore, theory provides the foundation for equitable, proactive, and instructionally aligned classroom management. Behavioral theory. Behavioral theory, grounded in the work of Skinner, Pavlov, and Watson, suggests that behavior is shaped through reinforcement and consequences. Hulick and Briesch explain that clearly defined expectations and consistent reinforcement strengthen desired behaviors. Ennis 2018 identify pre-correction as an effective low-intensity strategy that prevents error before they occur. Oakes emphasizes instructional feedback as a mechanism for guiding students towards expected behaviors. In a K through 12 classroom, behavioral theory provides the structure necessary for predictability and safety. Behavioral theory in practice. In practice, behavioral theory translates into explicit instruction of classroom routines as supported by Iris Center 2006. Behavior-specific praise strengthens academic engagement, says Lane 2018. For example, instead of saying good job, a teacher might say, I appreciate how you began your work immediately. Pre-correction is used before transitions to prevent disruption in this 2018. Active supervision, moving, scanning, interacting reduces opportunity for problem behavior. At systems level, PBIS frameworks support tiered behavioral interventions. These strategies demonstrate behavioral theory operationalized by in daily classroom management. Social cultural theory, rooted in Vygotsky's work, emphasizes that learning occurs through social interaction within the zone of proximal development. Students internalize norms and behaviors through collaborative learning and dialogue. Language plays a central role in mediating self regulation and behavior. This aligns with Bandura's 1977 social learning theory, which suggests students model observed behaviors. Classroom management, therefore, must intentionally structure peer interaction and guided participation. In K through 12 classrooms, social cultural theory appears through structured cooperative learning groups and modeling expected behaviors. Restorative talking circles, as described by Bintliff 2014, allow students to resolve conflict through dialogue rather than punishment. Castle's SEL framework supports direct instruction in social emotional competencies. The IES Practice Guide recommends explicit teaching of problem solving and self regulation skills. These practices reinforce that classroom management is relational and instructional, not merely disciplinary. Ecological systems theory. Bronfenbrenner's ecological systems theory reminds us that students' behavior is influenced by interconnected environmental systems. The microsystem includes classroom climate and teacher relationships. The mesosystem includes family-school partnerships. Broader systems such as district policies and community contexts also influence behavior. Effective classroom management must account for these contextual layers. Ecological applications. Ecological theory informs practices such as family communication partnerships, which are critical for consistent behavioral expectations. Ladson-Billings emphasizes cultural relevant pedagogy on pedagogy to ensure classroom norms reflect student identities. PBIS operates at a system level within MTSS framework. Teachers must also apply trauma-informed approaches when interpreting student behavior. This perspective ensures that management decisions are contextual and equitable. High leverage practices emphasizes active engagement and structured instruction. McCleskey, 2017. Lane, 2018, demonstrates that instructional choice increases student participation and reduces disruptive behavior. Active supervision and structured routines prevent escalation. Direct SEL instruction improves long-term outcomes. When combined, these strategies illustrate how theory informs multi-tiered, evidence-based classroom management. Synthesis. When synthesized, behavioral theory provides structure, social cultural theory provides relational scaffolding, and ecological theory ensures contextual responsiveness. Together, these frameworks create a proactive, culturally responsive classroom environment that supports both academic and behavioral success. Effective classroom management is therefore an integration of instructional design, relation, relational practice, and systems awareness. These references represent the foundational and supplemental resources provided in the module. Each theory and strategy discussed in the presentation is grounded in peer-reviewed research and evidence-based frameworks. Thank you all and have a great afternoon.